Welcome back here on Live Now from Fox 647 on the East Coast and 347 on the West Coast. My name is Josh Breslow, and I'm here for the next several hours to bring you all of your top stories. And the big one that we are covering this morning and will be covering all throughout the next several days, going 24/7 here on Live Now from Fox, is Hurricane Milton. Now, a very powerful monster storm, a Category 4, with maximum sustained winds of 155 miles per hour. But as we've mentioned throughout the morning, the hurricane hunters that have been studying the storm say they actually saw some of the gusts exceeding 200 miles per hour. As that storm does undergo that eye wall system there, they are going to see the energy kind of spread out. So that'll make the storm weaken just a little bit, likely down to a Category 3. Still, though, a major hurricane as it does make landfall along Florida's Gulf Coast. That will be happening Wednesday night into Thursday morning. Do have to head to our Fox 13 Tampa team's coverage right here as we listen to their forecast. Let's pop up the audio.
It is 6:45. Sky Tower radar this morning showing some rain to the south. So if you are traveling south on 75, and I know a lot of people are going north, and with, good reason, but you can also go well to South Florida as well. You're well out of the cone, but you're going to run into some showers today. I just wanted to throw that by you. This has nothing to do with Milton, by the way, as well. So overnight into this morning, and I know for most of you, this is not the first forecast that you've seen. So you're just kind of like, okay, Dave, what's new? What's updated from last night? Here are some cliff notes from the discussion from the Hurricane Center. This is a quote from the Hurricane Center: a high confidence that Milton will be an extremely dangerous hurricane at landfall. At least a Category 3 storm. Right now, the forecast is for winds to be around 125 as it's making landfall. Little change to the track forecast, but landfall a little bit later. So we're looking late Wednesday night, very early Thursday morning. And by that, I mean, let's say 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. for a landfall, maybe closer to midnight. It's a few hours later than we anticipated it to be for yesterday as well. The Milton wind field is going to double on its approach to the state. Here's what I mean by that. Right now, tropical storm force winds go out maybe 100 miles from the storm. By the time it gets here, the tropical storm force winds might go out closer to 200 miles, and the hurricane force wind field could double as well. As the storm begins to weaken, it's going to transfer its energy from the core, and it's going to push that wind field out. That's what is going to happen. So the storm, basically what I'm trying to tell you is the storm is getting larger. So even though it may weaken a little bit before landfall, it's just going to grow in size. Life-threatening storm surge with maybe 10 to 15 feet possible near and just to the south of where it makes landfall. That is the biggest key to the forecast, is right where that storm comes on shore. 10 to 15 foot storm surge there and about 20 to 30 miles south. And no, that is not an exact pinpoint location that we can give you today. We keep narrowing it down, and we'll do that with this track in a second. But the center is about to reemerge, or at least the eye may probably clearing out in just a little bit because it underwent that eye wall replacement cycle. The wind shear is still sitting up here, but the storm is to the south, so it's not really feeling an impact from that wind shear yet, and it won't throughout the day today. So you'll probably notice the storm re-intensifies back into a Category 5, at least briefly, okay? So don't be surprised to see that happen again maybe later today. The models are so tightly clustered now. I mean, you've narrowed down the west coast of Florida to between Citrus, Hernando County line and maybe Sarasota.
Yo, what's poppin', Rick Mill family? Shout out to everybody that's been joining in. Today we're going to be tracking everything that's going on with Hurricane Milton. As you previously seen what was going on with Helene, it's been doing damage going all the East Coast, or what's that, the West Coast, Tampa area, all the way up to North Carolina. It's been doing a lot of damage. We covered that on the FEMA. Go ahead and check that video out if you haven't already viewed it already. Today, we're going to be looking at what's going on with Milton as we're here in Florida, and we're trying to buckle down and get everything ready. So this is going to be a first-person perspective of what's actually going on. Highly doubt it, but we're going to try to see if we can go out and get some actual footage of what's going on locally. So stay tuned, rock with us, see what's going on throughout the day as we're going to be covering Milton, how it's affecting us locally here in Florida. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and watch it all the way through. Appreciate your time today. And shout out to all my loyal supporters that's already been subbing. Everybody that's been commenting, appreciate the love and support. Let's go ahead and lock in, check in more what's going on with Milton, and let's see what's happening.
Or just south of Sarasota. That's what the models are saying. And yeah, it kind of coincides with the way the forecast track is set up as well. So as the storm approaches, remember, these hurricanes, these storms, they don't just follow a straight line. It doesn't work that way. They kind of wobble like this, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and back and forth. So as it approaches the coastline late Wednesday into early Thursday, that wobbling will be huge because it could wobble itself right into Tampa Bay, wobble itself just to the south. You see how close this is going to be in terms of where the largest storm surge is going to come. That's why we continue to fine tune this. Thursday morning, 125 mile per hour winds as it moves on shore. And again, where it moves on shore and just to the south, the 10 to 15 feet of storm surge. But hey, you know, there's another hazard in the storm that we haven't talked a lot about because we've been so focused on the storm surge and where it's coming on shore, and that is rainfall. And we may easily get 5 to 10 inch rain amounts to go along with those hurricane force winds, and that in itself will be a problem. So it's a multifaceted storm, which doesn't look like it's going to start until probably sometime in earnest tomorrow lunchtime, early afternoon, when we start to pick those winds up. May get some rain later tonight and into tomorrow morning, but the core of this storm, the core of Milton, we're not going to feel it until Wednesday night. See, here's 10 p.m., and it's sitting just offshore at that point.
So as you can hear, they're saying that Wednesday is typically when we're supposed to be feeling the core effects of the storm. Especially, we're here in Central Florida, where this is being actually covered from, so near the Orlando area, as you can show there on the map. Shout out to everybody out there in Tampa. I hope everybody's safe, family and friends. If y'all are out there, go ahead and make the proper accommodations to make sure that you're safe. Let's probably just need to get away for it in the meantime. Shout out to everybody that's been reaching out as well, too. Here in Central Florida, we are doing well in some areas, of course. It does seem that Helene has caused a lot of damage that people have not recovered from. So now with Milton coming back on top, it's actually becoming a little bit more critical. So we're going to be staying tuned, tracking it for ourselves and our own safety as well to see maybe we might need to evacuate. But let's lock in, see what else is going on, and see where we can go from there. Let's get more information.
And then by 11 o'clock, it's getting closer. Then by around 8 or 9 o'clock, it's working its way across the state. So winds will be picking up. We'll start the tropical storm force winds, it looks like tomorrow, say early in the afternoon. So that's when you're going to want to be where you're going to be for the duration of this event. Again, slowing it down by a few hours means we have all today, tonight, and a wee portion of tomorrow morning to continue to get prepped. 82.
All right, and of course, that is our Fox 13 Tampa team. We've been checking in with them, as well as our Fox 35 Orlando and Fox Weather teams to get the latest details. Now, I do want to remind you of the latest stats here as we do.
Morning. Our meteorologists, both Brooks Garner and Jessica Dobson, are going to time out the newest track. And David Martin is joining us live from Osceola County this morning, where attractions like Wild Florida are bracing for the storm. They have a lot of animals out there that they have to make sure are safe. So we are here for you every step of the way as Hurricane Milton gets closer to Florida. Thank you for being here on a busy Tuesday. I'm Amy Kaufman.
I'm Ryan Elijah. Some people, the challenge is getting gas right now. These are all the things we go through. We're going to bring you all of that this morning. I want to take a live look. We've seen this all morning long. This is another angle to this. This is actually the best it's looked all morning. I-75 outside of Tampa. You can see cars are backed up with people that are heading north. DOT opening the shoulders on I-75, also I-4. We've seen just south of Polk City. It looks similar to this. The governor saying traffic volume has nearly doubled. So, Brooks, we expect this the day before, but certainly for people in that, better today to be stuck in this than tomorrow.
Yeah, the big concern with Hurricane.
And let's go ahead and see if we can figure out what's going on, what Ron DeSantis is saying, because you already know Ron DeSantis, he be on top of it, man, especially when it comes on these hurricane times. So let's see.
They're working, I think, well, but these debris sites need to be open, and we're going to ensure that to be able to do. So just in the last 24 hours, the state has done almost 500 truckloads of debris. totaling 9,000 cubic yards. So that's just from the barrier islands in Pinellas County bringing to the debris landfills. We have over 200 state assets, dump trucks, other types of trucks and vehicles to be able to do. But keeping it 24/7 is important. We absolutely encourage private citizens to have the debris and bring it in. That's helping the mission. Can't get bogged down in bureaucracy on this. The debris mission is going to continue until it's no longer safe to do so. Clearly, we're going to be able to work all the way through today and probably all the way through tomorrow, given that the storm's likely not to make landfall till later on Wednesday, and that could even get pushed back even further. So we've made a big dent in this. I know folks on the ground locally in those barrier islands and places like Manatee and Pinellas have been working very hard. But let's get this done. Let's get as much of that debris removed as humanly possible, and let's work 24/7 to be able to do it. So we have right now, just in the debris mission, we have 800 National Guardsmen that are also deployed helping our state agencies. We currently have 5,000 Guardsmen that are mobilized for the response to this storm, and we have more than 3,000 additional Guardsmen who will be mobilized prior to landfall. The National Guard's also deploying head.
Well, and there you have it, Rip Mill family. Appreciate everybody that's shouted out, watched this video all the way through. Thank you for all the supporters, everybody that's been showing love and support. Welcome to the Rick Mill family. We're going to be doing constant updates in regards to this, so stay tuned. Monitor the channel, and shout out to everybody that's been showing love and support. Y'all take care.